So now we'll look at another example. And there's a difference between heavy stones and thick stones. So heavy stones was chained together and didn't have a lot of eye potential. Thick stones is a bunch of stones usually that have very few to no defects, meaning that as long as it has good potential for two eyes or has two eyes already, then this could be considered very strong, right? If it's very strong and it can't be killed, then we can use this thickness, that we can use this strength to fight. So there's 4 principles. I'll go over them very quickly and then show you examples of what these principles are to use, how to use thickness. Double-digit cube players, I think, have a lot of trouble using thickness, and so this will be very important to learn. Don't approach thickness too closely. So in black's case, if we approach white too closely, it's going to get counterattacked, which I'll show you in a minute. But first, let's continue just naming off the principles. That's principle 1. Don't approach closely to thickness. 2. Don't use thickness to make territory. I'll show you examples of that. But if we use our thickness to make territory, usually we're squandering an opportunity to attack. And that's the next principle. Use your thickness to attack. The 4th being drive your opponents into the direction of your thickness. Let's take a look at all these examples. I have a few set up. I think 3 set up for thickness, because thickness is a very important concept. So first, let's look at the bad one for black. So if black was greedy and played too close to thickness, this allows white to counterattack. Black can't make too much eye space in this area, so black should jump out. And as black is jumping out, white is gaining strength here. It's used its thickness to attack this to gain strength. So now it can come back and start attacking this corner. And we see once we finish its attack and fully connected, white has built up a very large moyo, so it's profited on this side. It shrunk down this corner, and this group is still weak, and so it still has something to kind of harass and poke at. So by using the thickness to attack these stones, white has profited on the other side of the board. This is a hard concept to understand, right? Because when we start attacking things, our goal is to kill it, right? But this isn't the case. When it comes to attacking, we should use our strength to put black in bad positions, and then we can make ourselves into good positions. That's the true essence of attacking, and a good example of using thickness, and also a bad example for black on playing too close to thickness. So the right answer should be black to play here, because now you can see black is making quite a nice corner, and it's limiting how much white can make. If we go to the principle, don't use white thickness to make territory, in this case, if we were to try and make territory with white here, this is the largest extension we can make, which is only 4 lines. This is actually considered very small in Go, and especially when we have so many stones like high off the board, that we should be wanting to make large extensions. This is too small, and actually becomes smaller once black attaches on top here. Now it's only 3 lines of territory. This is should feel bad. It's a little embarrassing because black ended up profiting quite a bit on the top, and white didn't, right? This is far more than 3 lines of territory. So, to conclude, we should not use thickness to try and make territory. We should use thickness to attack. And finally, if, let's say it was white's turn, white should try to expand as far as possible from its thickness. If we do, 1, it invites black to come in, right, and attack us. And while it is, we can then, counterattack it. And we can see that black's going to have, once again, a hard time. And it kind of leads to the example that we looked at before. So when we make these huge extensions, we're inviting black to come in so we can fight. Because white has all the advantage here, right? White has all the advantage of fighting in this instance. And so black's going to be in some trouble. If black just defends itself calmly, we can now come back and make points here. Now, I said not to use thickness to make territory, but when you're able to make a 7 to 8 extension, and black doesn't try and take this, then you're in a good fighting chance. You're in a good place to make territory. 7 lines of territory is very tasty, right? Compared to 3 lines of territory. So that's a few examples in this case. Let's look at some more with thickness.